one? Is it intro to?
Actually, you can use any playlist. I didn't create a new one. I just posted one I used some time ago because I don't use Spotify anymore.
Okay.
But to be honest, everyone
use like one of the intro to live flows.
Yeah, or you can use your own music. Actually, it's
But I like this one.
great. Cool. So I think we can just start then. I'm going to make you bigger now. So as we're just four people, I think I won't do everything, and I try to watch you so I can give you tips if that's what you like. But if you need anything, just like raise your hand. Great. So let's start. Start in a seated position. You can start in Sukhasana, which is like this normal seat. Yes, or you can start sitting on your heels or in a half lotus. And close your eyes. Have your hands on your knees and start to feel where on the mat you're sitting. If you want to, close your eyes. Let your breath get a little bit longer, your inhale and your exhale. Start to feel the surroundings where the air touches your body and kind of scan through your body, starting on the skull, on the head, and then just like scanning downwards to your neck and your jaw. Release your jaw and any tension there. Then to your shoulders, you can draw them back a little maybe. Coming onto your chest, then the spine, the core of the body. Afterwards the hips and where you're sitting, your sit bones, your legs, the toes, the part of the foot that touches the floor. And start to settle in on your mat. I am currently reading the Yoga Sutras, which is a philosophical text from yoga, one of the basics. And they have these little sutras, which are things that the writer of the Yoga Sutras told people, yogis, to do. So it's like not the Bible, but it has verses, and one of the verses is Sthira Sukhanasanam, and that's in English the ideal posture or asana, like the postures we do, is stable and comfortable. So it's in German it would be leicht und stabil. So it's both, and I wanted to bring this into today's class. So while we're sitting here, we can all already try to sit stable, but also not too tense and comfortable, so that we can honor this Sthira Sukhanasanam. And also Patanjali, the one who wrote it, said that this is what helps you on the way of yoga. So maybe try to incorporate this thought today. I might repeat it anyway. While we're still sitting, think of the 3 S's, the triple S's. I think we talked about it last week, but if not, I'm going to repeat it. So it's the skull, the shoulder blades, scapula, and the sacrum. And think of these 3 points and bring them in one neutral line. Maybe you have to draw your head back a little because often we have a forward neck, so try to do that. And think of these 3 points in a line. Take your hands and arms out to the side. You can keep your eyes closed still, and then your inhale, lift the arms up so that they meet. Hold for a second and then exhale through the nose or mouth, come back down. We're going to do this 4 more times. Inhale up. Hold for a short time, make yourself a little longer, and then exhale, come down again. Soften your jaw. Inhale, lift. Hold and grow a little taller. Exhale, down. Yes. Twice more. You can do it on your own as well, so you don't have to wait for me breathing, and get in touch with your own breath. Last inhale. Connect your hands, hold your breath and grow taller. Move from side to side. And then an exhale out of the mouth or nose. Come down again. Come to your low bridge. You might take a block if you have one or anything else, but it's not necessary. So you can do it without as well. Do you hear me well? Is it okay? Yeah, great. So block between your knees. Hands on your hip bones, the ASIS points here, and tuck your chin a little into your chest. So you feel an elongation of your neck. It should feel quite nice. The feet grab into the mat as if you were in the sand, maybe on a beach, and then slowly start to lift your pelvis just a little bit, like, I don't know, 5 centimeters, something like this. Your hand can go downwards, and that should be the measurement. Your ribs are going in so they don't flare out. Chin is tucked. And then start lifting your heels and pulse them. So up and down, and up and down. Squeeze into your block. You can always touch your gluteus so that they wake up a little. It really does help. And some more pulses. Should feel your hamstrings now. And imagine this imaginary line from the ASIS points drawing in together and your pubic bone drawing up a little. So really go activate this part of the body, the deep core. One more, and then keep your heels up, lift your right arm and draw it back with your left hand so that you stretch your wrist to prepare for today. We're going to be on our hands a little bit, so that's going to be nice. And heels down, heels up again, and other hand switch to the other side. Great. Heels down, roll your spine down and begin in the upper body, and then slowly lower the rest. Going to do the first abdominal works. Going to need your block. Have them where they are. Sacrum stays down now. Interlace your fingers behind your hand, elbows drawing together. Think of these two hip bones draw in together, sloping your body, your lower belly there. On the inhale, we stay down. On the exhale, lift up. Inhale together. And exhale, lift up and look down on your lower belly. So it should feel firm. Inhale, come down. Exhale, lift up. Both scapula are on off the mat. Squeeze into your block. Inhale, lower. Now we're going to add something. Exhale, lift up. Squeeze into the block and then reach your left arm out as if you would grab something, and then grab it and pull it down. Hold your breath here if possible. If not, of course, you can always breathe. Do this 4 times. And then interlace fingers. Inhale, come down. Exhale, lift up. With the other side, reach your right arm and draw it back. Yes, exactly. And start to feel into your scapulae so that you can imagine and feel your movement. Hand back, inhale, come down. Exhale, lift. Left hand and arm again reaches. So when you reach forward, it's protraction of the scapula. And when you reach backwards, it's the retraction. And your scapula moves on your upper body. While doing this, hand back, inhale, come down. Exhale, lift scapulas off the floor and right hand reach it and pull an imaginary line. Yes. Sacrum, really press the sacrum into the floor. One more, hand back. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And now we're going to do it with both hands. Chin is towards the chest. And pull it. Maybe you can already feel your abdominal muscles work. One more, interlace the hands. Inhale, come down. Exhale, last one. Press sacrum into floor, reach, 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 and retract. So protraction forwards, retraction. One more. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, lower down. Put away the block. And then stretch from side to side. Well, go to the left side. Let your knees come to the left side. And reach your right arm to the right side. And then you can take your left hand and stretch out manually your chest muscles. If you want to do that, sometimes it's quite nice. You can stretch them away from the body. Yes. Great. Inhale. Here, exhale. Roll over to the other side. So knees to the right side, hand to the left side, and stretch it out. Imagine your breathing going into your left side of the ribs especially, to really use all your capacity. On the next exhale, roll back onto your back. Now for the second set of abdominal work, core work, we're not going to need the block, just straighten your legs up. Perfect. Interlace your fingers. Make a hammock with your hands for your neck, so your neck doesn't have to work here. Inhale, stay down. Exhale, lift up and lower your left leg for 30%. Yes, draw in your lower belly. Great, and leg back. Inhale, come down. Exhale, lift scapulae off the floor. Lower your right leg, 30%. Stay here, hold the breath. Leg back, inhale, come down. Exhale, lift off. Now, lower it for 30%, the left leg, and for 60%. Stay here for a short time, come back to 30%, and back to the beginning. Inhale, come down. Exhale, lift. Lower the right leg, 30%. And lower it a bit more. Yes. Sacrum into the floor. Come back to 30%. And back to beginning. Inhale, come down. We're going to add one more thing. Inhale here. Exhale, lift up. Scapula off the floor. Lower left leg, 30%. And twist to the left side. Lower the leg a bit more. Twist even more. Yes. Leg back up. And to the beginning, center, inhale, come down. Other side, exhale, lift up, lower right leg, twist to the right side. Yes, lower the leg a bit more. Press the sacrum into the mat, imagine like this. And then lift the leg a bit more and lift it to the beginning, center the core and come down. We are done. Hug your knees, give yourself a little massage on your lumbar spine. And come into a quadruped. So knees under hips and hands under shoulders. If you want to, you can always step in your knees a little bit farther, but that's your taste. Before we're going to do cat and cow, we're going to do some shoulder puffs and work on this protraction of the shoulders. So reach, but you press into the floor and your scapula are moving away from each other. And then you let them come together again, but you don't lower your belly all the way. Try to stay neutral yet, and then puff again. Yes, exactly, and let them come together. Then you can do this a bit more. It really warms up that part of the body and makes you more aware of it. And now you can incorporate some spinal movement as you like. On your exhale, do the cat, and on your inhale, look up for a cow, let your belly draw down a little bit. Inhale, slurp in your navel, and exhale. Good. Yes, do this in your own rhythm. You could even close your eyes or roll to the side and do a side roll. And then find your neutral position again in the middle. Lower your hands and your forearms. Get on your toes, tuck your toes, and now lift your lower belly and your pelvis up. Press into your shoulders. Think of the protraction we just did. Do this. Your neck is very relaxed and soft, and you say no, no, and yes, yes. And now walk with your feet as far to your upper body as you can. And your feet can always, your legs can be bent. That's no problem at all. If you want to, you can lift one leg and lift the other, but you don't have to do this. Yes, that looks really good. And if you want to, lower your knees and lower your whole body for a quick child's pose. Think of your breath coming to your lower belly. Really expands there. Take a deep breath in. Stay down. Yeah, you can stay in child's pose, I just. Great. And then lift up into a seated position. Think of these 3 S's, the triple S again. So the skull, the scapulae, and your sacrum. And then come to the front of your mat for the sun salutation. I think because we've already done so many sun salutations together, I am just going to do it quicker and not say like every cue, because I think you already know that. We start in Tadasana, mountain pose. Legs are a little bit bent. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back, lower knee, lower toes, come into low lunge. Hands up. Yes. Exhale, hands to the front of the mat, step back for plank. Lower your knees and now slowly lower your body. Great. Inhale, draw your hands back for a baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes and step into your first downward facing dog. You can pedal your feet, bend the left leg, bend the right leg. Be stable in your shoulders, so don't move too much in your shoulders. And knit your ribs in together. Inhale, step the right foot forward, lower left knee, lower left toes. Great for the low lunge. Lift your arms and hands. Keep your ribs in. Great. Exhale, hands to the floor, step forward, inhale, lift up into mountain pose, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, lift the arms and hands. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come to your forward fold. Left foot steps back, lower left knees, lower left toes for the low lunge. Arms come up. Great. And exhale, hands to the front of the mat, step back for a plank. Draw your chin to your chest, lower the knees, and then slowly lower the body. Inhale, baby cobra, look down. pull in your belly, and exhale, tuck the toes, lift the pelvis up into downward facing dog. Great. Inhale, step left foot forward, lower right knee, lower right toes. Inhale, hands up for the low lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back in. Inhale, step up for mountain pose. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come down to forward fold. Step the right foot back, lower the knees, but don't lower the toes. Yes. Try to not go too much into a forward position, but stay here. And reach your right arm up, and your left hand stays at the sacrum. And then draw to your left side. Maybe you feel a little stretch on your right front body. Exhale, hands to the front, step back for plank. Lower your knees, lower your toes, not totally your body. Inhale, baby cobra. Really think of your glutes drawing in together. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, step your right foot forward, lower the left knee, but not the toes. Inhale, hands up. And now, right hand to sacrum, left hand makes a fist, and then come and draw to your right side. Maybe you'll feel a stretch. And inhale here, and on the exhale, hands forward and step in. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Mountain pose, close your eyes. Feel your heartbeat. Maybe it beats faster than it did before. And we're coming to our first sequence. Inhale, hands lift to the ceiling. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Uttanasana, forward fold. Step right foot back, lower right knee, but not the toes, for a low lunge. Hold your shoulders and roll them back. And while you do this, try to draw in your ribs so that you don't come into a back bend already here. For now, we're trying to do it in a more neutral position. Hands to the front of the mat, step back for a plank. You can always lower your knees if you want to, and now tap your right hand to your left shoulder and reverse. Right hand, left shoulder, and back. Maybe try to not move your body too much like I just did before. One more. Lower your body as a whole, or lower your knees and then lower the body. Come to the floor. Hands come back, they reach to your back pockets. You roll your shoulders back, chin tucks in, and then lift all your limbs. Lift the legs, lift the arms, but still look down and feel your lower belly kind of slurping in, tucking in. Active glutes. Exhale, come down. One more for locust. And on the exhale, lift up. Don't forget to breathe. Exhale, come down. Hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes and come back into your downward facing dog. Say no and yes with your head to relax it a little bit. Great. And lift your left leg up to the sky. You can bend it and roll your hip a little bit, your leg. Yes. And then step the left foot forward. Great. Now move to your right side for some side lunges where you lunge in one leg and you hinge. Yes, that looks great. If you want to, you can touch the floor or you can stay on your hips. When you're with your left leg, stay there on the front of the mat. Turn to the front. Left leg is a little more bent. And then reach your toes away from the mat. And then roll your femur, so your leg, your upper leg, from side to side for a runner's stretch. It doesn't have to be big, it can be smaller too. Whatever feels right for you now. Step your hands a little forwards. Put all the weight on your left leg and then lift your right leg up. Now try to put more weight into your hands. Head is relaxed. Look down. And if you want to, stay here in standing split, or you can pulse your left heel up a little bit. That's really demanding though, you don't have to do this. It's just if you want to work on a handstand, I feel like it's a good thing to do. Step in the right foot. Take both elbows and move from side to side, and on the inhale, roll up the spine. Yes, looks good. Other side. Inhale, lift your arms up. Stay here for an exhale. Grow a little taller. Inhale. And then on the exhale, hinge at the hips, come down to Uttanasana, forward fold. Step back your left foot, lower the left knee, but not the toes. Come into the low lunge, clasp your shoulders, and roll them back. While you do this, relax your jaw and pay attention to how your scapula moves now. Maybe you can feel it, maybe you can imagine it. And try to maybe find this Sthira Sukham that I talked about in the beginning, the stability in your legs, but the softness and movement and comfortableness in your shoulders. Hands to the floor. Step back for plank. You can always lower to your knees and now touch the opposing shoulders. Yes, that's a great warm-up, right? Lower your body. Short pause here. Great. Now, take your hands to your back pockets. Great. I'm just going to tell you I'm not doing it right now. And imagine your lower belly slurping in. On the exhale, lift up into locust. Yes, great. Legs can be together, but don't have to. Look down. Great. That's awesome. And then lower. Lower again. And lift once more. Think of your back doing the strength. So the strength comes from the back and also your glutes. Great. Lower down. Hands under your shoulders. Step back into your downward facing dog. Move your neck from side to side to make sure it's relaxed. And then step your left leg in a little and lift your right leg up into the ceiling. You can roll your hip. So roll the leg in your hip. And then step the right foot forwards. Great. Turn to your left side for the side lunges here. You can do them as the same way as before, or you can add a twist. You can be playful here. When you're at the front of the mat, so the right leg, turn to the front. Lift your right toes. Draw them back. Legs can be bent a little, and then move your femur in the hip joint. So yes, that's the runner's stretch. Look down, relax the jaw, relax the head. Step the foot a little backwards. Step your hands in front. Put the weight into the right foot and the hands. Lift the left leg for standing split. Great. And if you want to pulse your right heel. And while you do this, put more weight into the hands. Yes, that looks great. You can add a little hop if you want to, but it's early in the class, so you don't have to. Step the foot back in. Great, exhale, inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do 2 rounds of sun salutation A. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, come down, forward fold. Step or jump back into plank pose and lower in chaturanga. So in a hole, or lower your knees and then your whole body. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here, bend your legs. Exhale, jump or step forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up. Exactly. Once more. Exhale, hinge at the hips and then bend your knees, come into forward fold. Step or jump back into plank pose. Now slowly lower and watch your shoulders. You shouldn't draw forwards. Yes, that's great. Yes. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Great. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift the pelvis up. Knit in your ribs for downward facing dog. Stay here for the inhale. Yes, that's great. Bend your knees. Exhale, jump or step forward. Forward fold. Inhale. Lift up into chair pose. Great. So sit back on your imaginary chair and have your hands in front of your heart. Twist to the left side, right elbow to left knee, and now step back with your right foot. That's optional. You can always stay here. Choose what you feel like today, but maybe it's good to move some more and bring up the energy. Then step your right foot back, lift up into a high lunge. Both legs are bent. Great, and the right foot is the back foot. Yes. Lift your hands up. You can do a little back bend here if it feels nice. And then come back into the center, hands in front of your heart. And push off of the right foot, but just a little, yes. Find some air time and then let it get more and more until you're in warrior 3 or airplane pose. Yes. Feel the work your left leg has to do. Find the stability, but also the freedom here. Step right foot back to warrior 2. Left leg is bent. Both arms reach to the sides. Really powerful reaching to the sides. Close your eyes. Feel your heart beating, the breath. And bend the right leg and come into a goddess pose. Imagine your tailbone drops a little and your pubic bone draws a little up so that you don't go into a forward tilted pelvis, and pulse a little. Yes, it should never feel painful for the knees. If yes, bend your knees a little less or draw in your feet a little more. Now turn to your right, so we're at the back side of the mat. Step in for your chair pose of the other side. Hands in front of your heart. Draw to your right side. Really draw from your own ribcage, so don't force it. Now step back your left foot if you want to, or stay here in the twisted chair pose. I know it's demanding today, so you don't have to do every option. Step back your left foot, come up into a high lunge, bend both legs. Inhale, you can do a little back bend if that's your thing. Then come to neutral. Close your eyes for a moment. And let's play with the balance here with closed eyes. So you're gonna push from your left leg and put the weight onto your right foot. With closed eyes, when we eliminate, you can already start to push. When we eliminate this sense of balance, it gets harder. but it's also a really nice experience to play with this, and never be ashamed if you fall, because that's part of the game. Whoops. Yes, great. Then come back into a warrior two, where your right leg is in front and bent. Ribs draw in together, and send your breathing, your air, to the back of your ribs. You can have your hands, you can put them on your ribs and your back ribs, or outside. So they're going to, yes, like you do. And take a deep breath. Bend the left leg, come into a goddess pose, and pulse a little more. So step into the front of your mat for Tadasana, little resting pose. Inhale for the flow number 3. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bend the knees. Step back into a downward facing dog and lift your left leg. Great. Now pull the left towards your upper body and send it up again. Yep, do this a little more. We're going to do a dolphin pose now, and it might be hard, so you don't have to do it, but it's a nice challenge. Lower your forearms, the right one and first, then the left, and do the same thing with your foot and leg, and then push yourself up again into downward facing dog. So you can watch me if you're unsure, but the thing that changes essentially are the arms, the forearms. Yeah, it's tricky, so you can do 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, or you can do both. And because it's hard, step your left bent leg in to the side, draw up to your right side. Right foot sends back, yes, great. Modified side plank on your left knee, great. You can release your neck and let it drop a little down, and roll your right shoulder. That might feel nice. And then let your right hand find a place on the mat for a plank position. Stay here for 1 breath, and then on the exhale, come back to the modified side plank. And now with every breath, change between these 2 positions. You could even go from left side modified side plank to a right side plank. So you really alternate between the 2 sides. Yes. I'm really living up to the dynamic part of the class title. Then find your plank, come down for a little pause. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes and walk little step by step forwards. Yes. Lift up for chair pose. Great. Tuck in your pubic bone towards yourself so that you're, fairly a little bit, yes, I think that's, yeah. So tuck it in a little bit more towards your belly, your pubic bone to your belly. Yeah. Exhale, downward facing dog, other side. Lift the right leg, bend it and draw it in. Alternate this movement and lower your forearms if that's what you chose to do before. And lift them up again for dolphin. You can do this, but you don't have to, don't feel obligated. One more. Then draw in your right leg. Yes. Step the right knee to the side of the mat and open up to your left side. I'm going to, yes, for your modified side plank, release your neck, and on the inhale stay here. On the exhale come into plank or side plank on your left arm. And then change by yourself. You can always in side plank lift your leg too. There's so many options. Yep. If you ever want to take a pause, just stay here in modified side plank or go into child's pose. While